Claire Hayes found the key on a Tuesday morning. It was hidden inside her husband's winter coat, a small silver key with a faded red plastic tag. Only 2 characters were printed on it, 4F. No address, no company logo, no explanation. She smiled at first, assuming it belonged to one of Daniel's clients. Then she called him. Once, twice, 3 times. Every call went straight to voicemail. That had never happened before. In 11 years of marriage, Daniel Hayes always answered. Claire looked down at the key one more time. 30 minutes later, she was driving toward a city her husband had never told her he visited. The only clue was an old boarding pass tucked inside the same coat pocket. Portland. Daniel worked as a financial consultant, and business trips weren't unusual. What was unusual was that Claire couldn't remember him ever mentioning Portland. 3 hours later, she parked outside a quiet apartment building on the edge of the city. Nothing looked suspicious. No police tape, no broken windows. Just an ordinary gray building where ordinary people lived ordinary lives. Apartment 4F sat on the 4th floor. Claire pressed the buzzer. Silence. As she turned away, another resident walked through the entrance and politely held the door open. "Thanks," Claire said. Her heart was beating much faster now. She reached apartment 4F. Her hand shook as she slid the silver key into the lock. It fit perfectly. The door opened. The apartment looked lived in. Fresh coffee still sat inside the machine. A jacket hung beside the entrance. Claire recognized it instantly. Daniel's gray coat. Not one that looked similar. His coat. The one she'd bought him for Christmas. She slowly walked toward the living room. Everything was neat. Almost too neat. Then she noticed the photograph. A framed picture sitting alone on a bookshelf. Daniel, standing beside a blonde woman, both smiling, neither looking at the camera. They looked comfortable together, like people who had shared many quiet afternoons. Claire turned the frame over. Written on the back in black ink, Nora, March. Her hands suddenly felt cold. Most people would have confronted their husband immediately. Claire didn't. Instead, she called Detective Anna Walsh. Anna had known Claire for nearly 15 years. She was also one of the few people Claire trusted completely. 40 minutes later, the detective stood inside apartment 4F. She quietly examined everything: the lease agreement, the utility bills, the mail. Finally, she looked up. "Claire, this apartment has been rented for almost 2 years. Claire didn't answer. Anna continued. The tenant used a different name. She placed a driver's license on the table. Different name, different signature, same photograph, Daniel Hayes. Claire stared at it without blinking. She wasn't discovering an affair anymore. She was discovering an entirely different life. Inside one desk drawer, Anna found a prepaid burner phone, still charged, 6 unread voicemail messages, every one of them from the same person, Nora. The newest message had arrived only 3 days earlier. Anna pressed play. A frightened voice filled the room. "Daniel, don't come back here. I think Ryan knows. I don't know how, but he knows. If you come back, you're going to disappear." The recording ended. Neither woman spoke. Anna immediately searched one name: Ryan. Several results appeared. Only one matched Nora's employer: Ryan Cole, Chief Executive Officer of a private financial investment company. Public image? successful businessman, charity donor, community leader. No criminal record, nothing unusual. At least, nothing visible. Claire slowly looked at Anna. "What aren't you telling me?" Anna hesitated, then quietly answered, "I think your husband wasn't hiding another relationship. I think he was hiding an investigation." Anna contacted a federal investigator she had worked with years before. Within an hour, they were sitting inside a secure conference room. The investigator slid a thin file across the table. "We've been investigating Ryan Cole for 18 months. Money laundering, shell companies, millions of dollars disappearing through fake investment accounts." Claire frowned. "If you already knew, why isn't he under arrest?" The investigator sighed. "Because we were missing one final piece of evidence." He paused. "And someone has been secretly feeding us information." He opened another folder. Wire transfers, internal emails, financial reports. Every document had come from the same anonymous source. No real name, no address, only one code name. Source 17. The investigator looked at Claire. "We believe Source 17 is your husband." Claire felt the room go completely silent. Daniel hadn't been living a secret life because he was unfaithful. He'd been living one because someone dangerous was watching him. Then Anna's phone rang. A traffic camera had just captured Daniel's car outside a lake house owned by Ryan Cole. Federal agents moved before sunrise. The property was surrounded within minutes. No sirens, no shouting, just silence. Anna pushed open the front door. Claire followed close behind. Daniel was sitting at a dining table. Across from him, Ryan Cole. Both had untouched cups of coffee in front of them. For a second, it looked less like a hostage situation and more like a business meeting. Ryan slowly smiled. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding." No one answered. Daniel finally looked toward Claire. His face wasn't frightened. It was exhausted, like someone who hadn't slept in days. Agents secured Ryan without resistance. As they escorted him away, Daniel quietly said, he wasn't negotiating. He was buying time. For what? Daniel looked toward the second floor. For someone to destroy my laptop. Federal agents searched the house. 20 minutes later, they found it, hidden behind an air vent inside an upstairs bedroom. Encrypted, untouched, exactly where Daniel had hidden it. Ryan Cole was arrested that afternoon. The files on Daniel's laptop completed the federal case. Millions of dollars, years of financial fraud, everything connected. Claire drove home beside her husband in complete silence. Neither of them spoke for nearly an hour. When they finally reached the house, Daniel placed the small silver key onto the kitchen table. I should have told you. Claire looked at it. No, you should have trusted me. Daniel lowered his head. I thought keeping you in the dark would keep you safe. Claire's eyes filled with tears. But you didn't protect me. You made me believe I'd lost you. The room became quiet again. Daniel nodded once. I know, and I'm sorry. It wasn't a perfect apology. It couldn't erase 2 years of lies, but it was honest. For the first time in a very long time, Ryan Cole was convicted. 14 months later, on multiple counts of financial fraud and money laundering, Daniel never returned to investigative journalism, officially. Yet every few months, Claire would notice another notebook appearing on his desk, filled with names, dates, numbers, threads only he seemed able to follow. She never opened them. He never asked her to. Because sometimes, the hardest part of loving someone is accepting that you'll never know every room they carry inside themselves.